Welcome to Audiobook 2M. Today, we're diving into Elon Musk by Walter Isaacson, a biography that tells the story of the tech genius who changed the world. From his childhood in South Africa to becoming the founder of companies like Tesla and SpaceX, Elon's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Musk was always driven by a love for technology. After moving to the US, he co-founded PayPal, but his real passion was in space exploration and electric cars. His bold ideas led to the creation of SpaceX, Tesla, and other groundbreaking ventures. Elon's story is one of big dreams, major risks, and facing countless challenges. Whether it's sending rockets to Mars or making electric cars mainstream, Musk's work continues to shape the future, but success didn't come easy. Musk has faced personal struggles, controversies, and countless failures. Yet, his relentless drive has made him a symbol of innovation and risk-taking. So, how did Elon Musk become one of the world's most influential figures? Stay tuned as we explore the journey of this tech pioneer. Chapter 1. Elon Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa, in 1971. He grew up in a family where intellect and achievement were highly valued, but his early years were marked by significant emotional turbulence. His father, Elon Musk, was an engineer and entrepreneur, and his mother, May Musk, was a model and dietitian. While Elon's father was intelligent and accomplished, he was also emotionally distant, which led to a strained relationship between the two. Despite the challenges in his home life, Elon demonstrated extraordinary intellectual potential from a young age. He was an avid reader, immersing himself in books about science, technology, and science fiction. His solitary nature and preference for reading over playing with other children created a sense of isolation, and his early experiences of feeling different from others set the foundation for his future ambitions. These formative years in Pretoria were characterized by a desire to understand the world around him and a deep curiosity about technology and space. Chapter 2. Elon's relationship with his father, Errol, continued to be difficult during the 1980s. Although Errol was a highly intelligent and successful man, his emotionally cold and sometimes cruel demeanor made it challenging for Elon to connect with him. Errol was often critical, which led to a sense of emotional neglect for Elon. Despite this, Elon admired his father's intellect and mechanical skills. However, as Elon grew older, he became increasingly frustrated with his father's behavior, particularly his domineering attitude. This emotional distance shaped Elon's personality, fostering a sense of independence that would become a defining trait throughout his life. The tension in the family, combined with Errol's complex personality, created an environment that pushed Elon to seek out his own path and break away from his father's shadow. Chapter 3. In the 1980s, as a teenager, Elon Musk continued to feel like an outsider. His intelligence and interests set him apart from his peers, and he was frequently bullied for being different. Musk was deeply introspective, often retreating into books, where he could explore the worlds of science, technology, and philosophy. His thirst for knowledge was insatiable, and he became fascinated by the idea of creating something that could change the world. Despite his isolation, Musk was already beginning to form the seeds of his ambitious vision for the future. This time in his life was marked by both personal hardship and intellectual discovery, as Musk sought ways to escape the confines of the society around him. He was determined to build a future that would be far beyond the limited opportunities he saw in South Africa. Chapter 4. By the age of 17, Musk's dissatisfaction with his life in South Africa had reached its peak. Disillusioned by the apartheid system and the limited opportunities available to him, Musk made the decision to leave his home country. He saw this as his only chance to pursue a future filled with greater freedom and possibility. Musk chose Canada as his destination, as it offered a more open environment and allowed him to avoid mandatory military service, which was required for young men in South Africa. His decision to leave was also fueled by his desire to escape his tumultuous relationship with his father and forge his own path. This marked a major turning point in Musk's life, setting him on a trajectory that would eventually lead him to the heart of the technology world. Chapter 5. Musk's journey to Canada in 1989 was the beginning of his transformation from a young man seeking escape into a driven, ambitious entrepreneur. After arriving in Canada, he spent some time living with his relatives, figuring out his next steps. He enrolled at Queen's University in Ontario, where he would begin his formal education in North America. Musk's time in Canada allowed him to reflect on his goals and the kind of future he wanted to build. Canada also provided him with the emotional distance from his father that he needed. Musk quickly adapted to life in Canada, realizing that this was his chance to shape his destiny and pursue the ambitious goals that had been brewing in his mind for years. Chapter 6. At Queen's University, Musk began to develop his intellectual and entrepreneurial ambitions. He studied economics and physics, subjects that would prove fundamental to his future ventures. However, Musk's experience at Queen's was also personal, as he met Justine Wilson, who would later become his first wife. Musk's time at Queen's was not without challenges, both academically and socially. While he was highly focused on his studies, he also struggled with loneliness and finding his place in the social dynamics of college life. Musk was already beginning to entertain the idea of venturing into the business world, but his time at Queen's helped him solidify his academic foundations and prepare for the next phase of his life. Chapter 7. Musk's decision to transfer to the University of Pennsylvania marked a pivotal point in his academic career. At Penn, Musk pursued dual degrees in economics and physics. It was here that Musk began to solidify his ambitions and start thinking about how he could bring his ideas to life. During his time at Penn, Musk became more determined to work in the high-tech field, realizing that his future lay not in academia but in entrepreneurship. Although Musk's academic work was impressive, his real focus was on business and technology. Musk spent a considerable amount of time thinking about how he could merge his knowledge of physics with his interest in practical business applications. This period also marked the start of his involvement in various entrepreneurial projects. Chapter 8. After graduating from the University of Pennsylvania, Musk moved to California to attend Stanford University for a PhD program in applied physics. However, he quickly realized that the world of academia was not where he belonged. In just 2 days, Musk dropped out of Stanford and moved to Silicon Valley, the heart of the technology world. This decision would be the first of many that would define his career. In Silicon Valley, Musk began to explore the world of startups and entrepreneurship. He saw immense opportunity in the growing tech industry and decided to focus on creating something that could disrupt the world. Musk's move to Silicon Valley marked the beginning of his journey into the tech world, where he would go on to launch several successful ventures. Chapter 9. Musk's first entrepreneurial venture was Zip2, an online software company that provided business directories and maps to newspapers. Musk co-founded the company with his brother, Kimball, and the business faced many challenges in its early years. The company had a difficult time gaining traction, but Musk's relentless work ethic and visionary ideas eventually led to its success. In 1999, Zip2 was sold to Compaq for nearly $300 million, providing Musk with his first major financial success. Despite its relatively small scale compared to Musk's later ventures, Zip2 was important because it gave him the resources and confidence to pursue larger, more ambitious projects in the tech world. Chapter 10. During his time in Palo Alto, Musk was married to Justine Wilson, a Canadian writer. Their relationship began while they were both at Queen's University, and they would later marry in the mid-1990s. However, Musk's intense focus on his work and his single-minded pursuit of success led to significant challenges in their relationship. Musk's personal life often took a back seat to his business ambitions, which ultimately contributed to the strain in his marriage. Justine was supportive of Musk's dreams, but the couple faced difficulties due to Musk's workaholic tendencies. They had 5 children together, but their marriage eventually ended in divorce. Despite their personal challenges, Justine was an important figure in Musk's early life, and their relationship had a significant impact on his worldview. Chapter 11. In 1999, Musk founded X.com, an ambitious online payment company that sought to revolutionize the financial industry. X.com aimed to create a new form of digital payment, combining banking, credit cards, and online transactions into one platform. Musk's leadership was marked by his bold vision and aggressive approach to achieving his goals. However, his management style and clashes with key executives and the board led to internal conflict. Despite these challenges, X.com's potential was clear, and it eventually evolved into PayPal. Musk's vision for digital payments began to take shape, although his tenure as CEO was short-lived. His departure from X.com in 2000 marked a significant turning point in his career, but it was also the beginning of something much bigger. Chapter 12. In September 2000, Musk was ousted as CEO of X.com, following a dramatic internal coup. Despite being the founder, Musk's management style, which was often perceived as abrasive and overly focused on product innovation, clashed with the more pragmatic business-minded members of the board. As a result, Musk was replaced by Peter Thiel, one of the company's co-founders. Though Musk was no longer at the helm of X.com, the company continued to thrive under new leadership and eventually became PayPal. PayPal went on to become one of the most successful online payment platforms and was sold to eBay in 2002. Chapter 13. Musk's ultimate goal has always been to make humanity a multiplanetary species, and in this chapter, we see the vision behind his relentless pursuit of SpaceX. After the initial struggles of launching rockets and gaining credibility in the space industry, Musk made a bold and visionary decision to set his sights on Mars. In 2002, he founded SpaceX with the long-term ambition of colonizing the Red Planet, with the hope of ensuring humanity's survival in case of global catastrophe. SpaceX's goal was to build reusable rockets that could drastically reduce the cost of space travel, making interplanetary exploration more feasible. Musk's vision was not just about technological innovation, but about inspiring a sense of purpose for future generations. He believed that Mars could serve as a backup for civilization, where humans could thrive if Earth became uninhabitable. This chapter explores Musk's passion for space, his drive to make humanity a spacefaring civilization, and his obsession with making his vision a reality. Chapter 14. This chapter details Musk's journey with SpaceX and his transformation into a true rocket man, a visionary determined to redefine the space industry. SpaceX faced numerous challenges in its early days, and Musk's unyielding work ethic pushed the company to overcome setbacks like failed launches, technical issues, and funding problems. Musk's management style was intense and hands-on, and he often took on roles outside of his comfort zone to ensure SpaceX's success. He became deeply involved in the design and engineering of the rockets, particularly the Falcon 1, Falcon 9, and Dragon spacecraft. Despite the frequent failures, Musk's resilience paid off. This chapter chronicles how SpaceX achieved its breakthrough success with the first privately developed rocket to reach orbit, a milestone that changed the space industry. It also delves into Musk's passion for innovation and his relentless pursuit of reusability in rocketry, which would make space travel significantly more cost-effective and open up the possibility of regular missions to space. Chapter 15. Musk's complicated relationship with his own father, Elon Musk, is explored in this chapter. While Elon has always been driven by a need to prove himself and assert his independence, his father's cold, sometimes abusive demeanor left deep emotional scars. Elon was a brilliant engineer and businessman, but he had a turbulent, often controlling influence on Elon's early life. Elon's departure from South Africa at the age of 17 was in part an escape from his father's shadow. Despite their fraught relationship, Elon inherited his father's intellectual curiosity and his engineering talent. The chapter contrasts Elon's relationship with his own children and how he became a father himself. Musk's approach to fatherhood was different from his father's, though he often still struggled with emotional connection. This chapter is a poignant reflection on the influence of fathers on their sons, and how Elon's need to create something lasting was, in part, driven by his own desire for validation. Chapter -16. This chapter focuses on the growth and challenges faced by Tesla Motors. After Musk joined the company as chairman in 2004 and later took over as CEO, Tesla was struggling to stay afloat. Tesla's first product, the Roadster, was an expensive, high-performance electric sports car. While it showcased the potential of electric vehicles, EVs, the car was still in limited production and faced skepticism from the automotive industry. This chapter highlights Musk's tenacity and hands-on approach as he worked tirelessly to prove that electric cars could not only be environmentally sustainable but also high-performance and desirable. Musk pushed the company to invest in more affordable models, leading to the development of the Model S, which would eventually change the electric vehicle market. The chapter also reflects on Musk's management style, which, while controversial at times, led to Tesla's eventual success in becoming a mainstream player in the automotive industry. Chapter -17. In this chapter, Musk lays out his principles for building rockets and running a space company. Musk's approach to innovation and problem-solving is unconventional, focusing on a first principles approach, which involves breaking down complex problems to their fundamental truths and rebuilding from there. He often rejects traditional methods and industry norms, instead relying on the idea of iterative improvement and radical innovation. This chapter delves into the technical aspects of SpaceX's rocket development process, where Musk's insistence on rigorous testing, minimizing costs, and pursuing reusable technology set SpaceX apart from government-run space agencies like NASA. The chapter highlights Musk's approach to overcoming failure, seeing it as an inevitable step toward success rather than a setback, and his obsession with vertical integration, meaning that SpaceX builds as much of its technology in-house as possible, allowing for better control over quality and cost. Musk's rules for rocket building would ultimately make SpaceX the leader in private space exploration. Chapter -18. As SpaceX grew more successful, Musk's companies began to face increasing scrutiny and regulatory challenges. In this chapter, Musk's interactions with government agencies, such as NASA and the US military, are explored. Musk's goal was not just to build private rockets but to disrupt the entire space industry. In order to achieve this, SpaceX needed government contracts and support, but Musk's unorthodox style often clashed with bureaucratic norms. He pushed back against inefficiencies and challenged the traditional way that space exploration was conducted. The chapter also explores Musk's efforts to navigate political landscapes and the challenges of lobbying for his companies while remaining a controversial figure. Musk's efforts paid off when SpaceX secured significant government contracts, allowing it to become a key player in space missions. This chapter underscores Musk's determination to change not just the private sector but also the government's role in space exploration. Chapter -19. Tesla Motors was founded by engineers Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning in 2003 with the goal of proving that electric cars could be high-performance, desirable, and commercially viable. While Musk wasn't technically one of the original founders, his entry into Tesla was crucial in shaping the company's future. Musk joined Tesla in early 2004 after a significant personal investment, becoming the company's largest investor and chairman of the board. From the outset, he had a vision that went beyond just creating an electric car. It was about changing the entire automobile industry and pushing the boundaries of what electric vehicles, EVs, could achieve. This chapter focuses on how Musk's determination and forward-thinking strategy pushed the company toward groundbreaking innovations. Tesla's vision began with the Roadster, an all-electric sports car that would prove that electric vehicles could compete with traditional cars, both in terms of performance and style. Musk's hands-on involvement quickly grew as he became deeply embedded in the company's operations, helping to drive its direction and ensure that its engineering and design philosophies reflected his own bold aspirations for the future of sustainable transport. Chapter -20. The Tesla Roadster was the company's first product, and it was ambitious from the start. A sleek, high-performance electric sports car, it was a far cry from the stereotypical image of electric cars being slow or unattractive. This chapter takes a deep dive into the development process of the Roadster, which was initially supposed to use a technology from AC propulsion. However, as Tesla's engineers worked on the car, they realized they needed to develop a proprietary battery system that would set the Roadster apart. This became a turning point for Tesla as it began its journey toward innovation in battery technology and electric drive systems. Despite significant challenges, production delays, technical hurdles, and underestimating the complexity of battery design, the Roadster finally became the first production electric vehicle to offer a range of over 200 miles on a single charge. Musk's leadership was essential in keeping Tesla on track despite these obstacles. He was not just a financier but also deeply involved in every aspect of the car's design and performance, pushing the team to reach new heights of efficiency and capability. This chapter illustrates how Musk's hands-on management style and obsessive attention to detail helped push the Roadster into production, setting the stage for Tesla's future success. Chapter -21. In the mid-2000s, SpaceX was in the early stages of its ambitious plan to reduce the cost of space travel and revolutionize the space industry. After several years of research and development, SpaceX was ready to test its Falcon 1 rocket. This chapter focuses on the significant milestones and challenges during SpaceX's first launch attempts, especially its work from the Kwajalein Atoll in the Pacific. The early SpaceX days were fraught with struggles as the company was racing against the clock to launch a commercially viable rocket. Musk's commitment to innovation and risk-taking was evident as SpaceX pushed ahead with the development of the Falcon 1 rocket, a small, low-cost rocket designed to demonstrate the potential for reusable space travel. The launch attempt at Kwajalein in 2006 was critical, as Musk had invested much of his fortune into the project, but the rocket failed. However, SpaceX's willingness to learn from its failures became a hallmark of the company's trajectory. The failure was a blow, but Musk refused to be discouraged, knowing that the lessons learned would help SpaceX build the foundation for future successes. Chapter 22. SpaceX's early days were marked by repeated failures. In this chapter, Musk faces the painful reality that SpaceX's first 2 Falcon 1 launches failed to reach orbit. These setbacks placed the company under immense financial strain, and Musk was forced to dip into his personal fortune to keep SpaceX afloat. This chapter explores how SpaceX navigated the relentless pressure from investors and the public to succeed in a highly competitive, complex industry. The failure of 2 consecutive rocket launches seemed to be a critical turning point. Musk and his team had worked tirelessly on the Falcon 1, and each failure was a blow to their morale. However, Musk's unshakable belief in SpaceX's mission and his insistence on learning from each failure drove the company to persist. He had a vision of reducing the cost of space travel and ultimately making it possible for humans to live on Mars, and no failure, no matter how devastating, would deter him. His leadership during this time was a testament to his resilience and ability to motivate his team through dark times. Chapter -23. As Tesla faced mounting challenges during the production of its Roadster, Musk's hands-on involvement became more pronounced. The chapter explores how Musk took the reins in solving Tesla's dire financial and production issues by assembling a SWAT team of engineers and business experts from various industries. Tesla was on the brink of failure, but Musk remained determined to make it work. In addition to refining the Roadster, Musk took aggressive steps to secure funding, seeking investors who would believe in Tesla's potential to transform the automotive industry. The company faced massive financial strain, struggling to keep the doors open and avoid bankruptcy. This chapter highlights Musk's drive to keep Tesla alive and thriving, despite the financial and technical obstacles. It also reveals the internal dynamics at Tesla, as Musk's leadership was sometimes contentious, with frequent clashes between Musk and other team members who were uncomfortable with his intense management style. Despite this, Musk's determination helped steer Tesla through this crisis, and it would eventually lead to the production of the Roadster and the successful expansion of the company. Chapter -24. In 2007, Musk took over as CEO of Tesla, and his first task was to address the company's financial troubles and ensure that it stayed afloat. The company was on the verge of collapse due to production issues with the Roadster and the high costs involved in its development. This chapter focuses on Musk's full-time involvement with Tesla during this critical period. He worked relentlessly, overseeing every detail of the company's operations. Musk's high expectations for Tesla and its products created a demanding work culture, but it was also a reflection of his unyielding vision for the future of sustainable energy and transportation. His leadership style was intense, and it was clear that Tesla's survival depended on him making difficult decisions, including reworking parts of the Roadster and securing additional investment. The company faced multiple challenges, but Musk remained resolute in his belief that electric cars were the future of the auto industry, and he poured all his efforts into making Tesla a success. Despite immense pressure, his leadership started paying off when the company secured new investments and Tesla began to shift from being a niche player to a more significant force in the market. Chapter -25. In addition to the financial pressures of running Tesla and SpaceX, Musk's personal life took a difficult turn in 2008 when he and his first wife, Justine Musk, filed for divorce. This chapter delves into the emotional and practical toll that the divorce took on Musk during an already challenging year. His focus on work was often all-consuming, and his marriage suffered as a result. The divorce was particularly painful for Musk, as it marked the end of a relationship that had been part of his life for many years. Justine had long supported Musk's endeavors, but his workaholic nature and obsession with his companies created a rift. Musk's personal life was impacted significantly by the pressure from both his personal and professional commitments, and his emotional distress during this time is explored in detail. Despite the personal turmoil, Musk's drive to succeed never wavered, and his relationships, both personal and professional, continued to evolve as he pushed forward with his businesses. Chapter -26. Following his divorce, Musk began a relationship with actress Tallulah Riley in 2008. While his personal life remained in flux, Riley provided Musk with emotional support during an extremely stressful period. This chapter explores how Musk's relationship with Tallulah was a bright spot during a dark time. The chapter examines how Musk tried to find a sense of balance between his personal life and his work, though his relentless ambition often led to tension in his relationships. Despite his emotional turmoil, Musk's personal life and work life intersected in fascinating ways. Riley's relationship with Musk was marked by periods of closeness and distance, as Musk's intensity in both his career and personal life made it difficult to sustain long-term relationships. Nevertheless, the chapter reveals how Musk's vulnerability and search for companionship played out during his complex journey through personal and professional challenges. Chapter -27. In 2008, SpaceX faced its third failure with the Falcon 9 rocket. After two failed launches, this third attempt was seen as a make-or-break moment for SpaceX. Musk had already invested most of his personal fortune into the company, and another failure could have ended his dream of revolutionizing space travel. This chapter focuses on the technical and emotional stakes of the third launch attempt and the subsequent failure. Despite the immense pressure, Musk's belief in SpaceX's mission remained unwavering. The failure served as yet another learning experience, and Musk was resolute in his commitment to solving the problems and moving forward. It was clear that Musk was willing to risk everything, including his personal wealth and reputation, to see his vision for space exploration realized. This chapter highlights Musk's resilience and his ability to bounce back from repeated failures, which would eventually contribute to SpaceX's future success. Chapter -28. By late 2008, both Tesla and SpaceX were facing dire financial challenges. Tesla was struggling with cash flow and the high cost of production, while SpaceX was dealing with the aftermath of the failed launches. Musk was in a precarious position, with both companies on the brink of collapse. This chapter details Musk's intense efforts to secure funding and navigate these crises. He was personally invested in both companies, and the idea of losing either was unthinkable. Musk worked tirelessly to find investors and new sources of capital to keep both companies alive. The chapter illustrates Musk's unyielding persistence, his ability to inspire others, and his willingness to make enormous personal sacrifices to save his companies. His refusal to give up, even when the odds seemed insurmountable, laid the groundwork for his future successes. Chapter -29. SpaceX's fourth attempt at launching the Falcon 1 rocket in 2008 marked a turning point for the company. This chapter focuses on how Musk's persistence paid off when the Falcon 1 successfully reached orbit. This was the first privately developed liquid-fueled rocket to reach orbit, marking a historic milestone for SpaceX. The success of the fourth launch was a critical moment for Musk and his team, providing validation for their approach and vision. It also helped establish SpaceX's credibility in the space industry and laid the groundwork for future contracts and expansion. This chapter highlights Musk's resilience, his ability to lead through adversity, and his unwavering belief in the potential for innovation in space exploration. Chapter -30. By December 2008, Tesla was on the brink of collapse. Musk was personally invested, both financially and emotionally, in the company's success. In this chapter, Musk takes drastic steps to save Tesla from bankruptcy. He personally invested his own money to help keep Tesla afloat and worked tirelessly to secure a government loan that would provide critical funds. His efforts paid off when Tesla secured a loan from the U.S. Department of Energy, which allowed the company to continue production and development. This chapter explores Musk's determination to see Tesla survive and thrive, despite the overwhelming financial pressures. It also highlights the transformative impact that Musk's leadership had on the company, shaping Tesla into a powerful player in the electric vehicle market. Chapter -31. In 2009, Tesla took a significant leap forward with the introduction of the Model S. This electric sedan, which Musk had been envisioning for years, was designed to be a mass-market vehicle that combined luxury, performance, and sustainability. Unlike the Roadster, which had been a niche product, the Model S aimed to prove that electric cars could compete with traditional gasoline-powered vehicles in terms of range, performance, and luxury. The Model S was revolutionary in many ways, featuring a sleek design, cutting-edge technology, and a long range on a single charge. The chapter delves into the design, engineering, and production hurdles Tesla faced in bringing the Model S to life. Musk's vision for a world where electric cars were both desirable and accessible was becoming a reality. It also covers the Model S role in helping Tesla solidify its position as a major player in the electric vehicle market. Chapter -32. In the period between 2009 and 2010, SpaceX was working hard to carve out its niche in the space industry. Musk's vision was not only to build rockets but to drastically reduce the cost of space travel, with the long-term goal of making space accessible to the private sector. This chapter explores SpaceX's growth during this time, with a focus on the development of the Falcon 9 rocket. SpaceX's efforts culminated in the company securing a contract with NASA, which was a monumental achievement for a privately funded space company. This period was crucial as SpaceX transitioned from being a hopeful startup to a serious competitor to established aerospace giants like Boeing and Lockheed Martin. Musk's ambitions for private space exploration were beginning to take shape, and SpaceX's successes started to disrupt the traditional space industry. Chapter -33. On December 8, 2010, SpaceX achieved a historic milestone with the successful launch of its Falcon 9 rocket from Cape Canaveral. This was the first time a privately developed rocket successfully delivered a payload into orbit. The launch was a testament to Musk's persistence and vision, as it demonstrated that a private company could compete with government-backed space agencies. This chapter explores the significance of the launch, the technical challenges SpaceX overcame, and the political and financial implications of such a feat. It also highlights Musk's leadership style, which involved taking bold risks and making enormous personal and financial sacrifices to push the boundaries of space exploration. The Falcon 9 liftoff was the first step toward establishing SpaceX as a leader in space transportation. Chapter -34. In 2010, Musk married actress Tallulah Riley in a private ceremony. Their relationship had been on again, off again, but the wedding was a sign that Musk was seeking stability and companionship after his divorce from Justine. However, their relationship was not without its challenges. The chapter delves into the dynamics of Musk's personal life during this time, especially how his intense focus on his companies and his often unstable work-life balance affected his relationships. Musk's marriage to Riley is examined as part of his ongoing quest for balance between his visionary ambitions and personal life. Despite the pressures of his business ventures, Musk seemed to seek solace in his personal connections, though the relationship would later go through its own set of ups and downs. Chapter -35. The years between 2010 and 2013 were critical for Tesla as it ramped up production of the Model S. Tesla faced enormous challenges during this period, as manufacturing complex, high-performance vehicles at scale proved to be much more difficult than anticipated. This chapter explores the intricacies of manufacturing at Tesla, including the technical hurdles, the struggles with suppliers, and the difficulty of scaling production without sacrificing quality. Musk's hands-on approach was crucial during this phase, as he worked directly with engineers and suppliers to ensure the Model S met the high standards he set for it. Tesla's production hell, as Musk described it, was a pivotal moment that would ultimately determine whether Tesla could survive and thrive. The chapter also explores Musk's philosophy on manufacturing, his drive for perfection, and his commitment to ensuring that Tesla would not just make a great car but revolutionize the auto industry. Chapter -36. In the early 2010s, Musk found himself facing competition from Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, who had started his own space company, Blue Origin. While Musk's SpaceX was working to reduce the cost of space travel and build reusable rockets, Bezos' company was also focused on long-term space exploration and innovation. This chapter compares Musk and Bezos' approaches to space exploration, highlighting their differing philosophies and business strategies. While Bezos took a more cautious and incremental approach, Musk aimed for radical innovation and disruption. Their rivalry became a defining feature of the private space industry, and the competition between them pushed both companies to innovate faster. The chapter also explores how Musk and Bezos view the future of space colonization, with Musk's vision of Mars colonization in direct contrast to Bezos' focus on building infrastructure for human life in space. Chapter -37. Between 2014 and 2015, SpaceX made significant strides in rocket reusability. This chapter focuses on the development of the Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy rockets, both of which would play crucial roles in SpaceX's long-term goals. The chapter also discusses the groundbreaking achievement of landing the Falcon 9's first stage booster on solid ground in December 2015, marking a major milestone for space travel. The successful landing of the booster demonstrated that SpaceX was capable of reusing rockets, reducing the cost of space travel, and making space exploration more sustainable. Musk's relentless pursuit of reusability revolutionized the space industry and set SpaceX apart from other aerospace companies. The chapter examines the technical difficulties, setbacks, and triumphs that define SpaceX's rise to dominance in the commercial space industry. Chapter 38. Musk's personal relationship with Tallulah Riley was often turbulent, marked by several breakups and reconciliations during the years between 2012 and 2015. This chapter explores the emotional ups and downs of their relationship and how Musk's commitment to his work sometimes interfered with his personal life. Despite their challenges, Riley remained a significant part of Musk's life during these years. The chapter offers a candid look at how Musk struggled to maintain balance in his personal relationships while pursuing his ambitious business goals. His constant work-driven focus meant that personal relationships were often secondary, and this chapter highlights the complexities of Musk's quest to find love, stability, and happiness. Chapter 39. In 2012, Musk became involved with OpenAI, a non-profit organization focused on artificial intelligence research. Musk's deep concern about the potential dangers of AI led him to become an advocate for its responsible development. This chapter discusses Musk's efforts to fund and promote OpenAI's mission to ensure that artificial intelligence is developed in a way that benefits humanity. Musk has often spoken about the potential risks of uncontrolled AI, and his involvement with OpenAI reflects his desire to mitigate these risks. The chapter delves into Musk's philosophical and practical views on AI, his concerns about the rapid pace of technological advancement, and his role in shaping the discourse around AI development. Chapter 40. Tesla introduced its autopilot system in 2014, a significant leap toward self-driving cars. This chapter explores the development of Tesla's autonomous driving technology, which began with the goal of making driving safer and more efficient. Musk's ambition for Tesla was not just to build electric cars, but to revolutionize the entire transportation industry, including creating fully autonomous vehicles. Autopilot was initially a semi-autonomous driving system, but Musk had bigger plans for it. The chapter focuses on the technical challenges Tesla faced in developing autopilot, as well as the public reactions to the system. Despite early successes, autopilot would face controversy due to accidents involving Tesla vehicles in autopilot mode, leading Musk and Tesla to refine and improve the system. The chapter highlights Musk's ambition to push the boundaries of technology and how autopilot is part of his vision for a sustainable future. Chapter 41. Tesla's acquisition of SolarCity in 2016 marked a major step in Musk's quest to create a sustainable future. SolarCity, co-founded by Musk's cousins, was focused on making solar energy more affordable and accessible for homeowners. The chapter explores how Musk's commitment to sustainable energy solutions led to the formation of Tesla Energy, which aimed to integrate solar power and energy storage into one seamless product. Tesla's energy storage solutions, such as the Powerwall, were designed to enable homes and businesses to store solar energy for later use. The chapter details Musk's vision of a future powered by clean, renewable energy, where electric vehicles and solar energy systems work in harmony to reduce humanity's reliance on fossil fuels. It also examines the challenges of scaling solar technology and the growing competition in the renewable energy market. Chapter 42. In 2016, Elon Musk founded the Boring Company with the aim of solving one of the most persistent problems in urban life, traffic congestion. Musk's solution was to dig underground tunnels to create high-speed transportation systems, starting with a concept called the loop. This chapter explores Musk's motivations for starting the company, his desire to ease traffic through innovative tunneling technologies, and the development of early projects. The chapter also discusses the technical challenges involved in building tunnels, the political hurdles Musk faced in obtaining permits, and the reactions of both the public and local governments to the idea. Musk's boldness and ability to generate publicity for his ventures are key themes here, as the Boring Company began to transform from a side project to a serious attempt to revolutionize transportation. Chapter 43. Musk's personal life continued to attract media attention, particularly his relationships during this period. This chapter examines Musk's relationships with several women, including his brief marriage to actress Tallulah Riley and his highly publicized romance with musician Grimes. The emotional roller coaster of Musk's personal life, coupled with the intense pressure of managing his multiple companies, is explored in depth. The chapter discusses how Musk's workaholic tendencies and singular focus on his companies affected his romantic relationships. His inability to balance personal and professional life often led to stress and turmoil, but his relationships also shaped his emotional resilience and were a source of both support and strain. Chapter 44. By 2017, Musk was under increasing pressure, both personally and professionally. His ambitious goals and high-stakes ventures had reached a point where the stress began to take a toll. This chapter covers Musk's struggles with mental health, depression, and anxiety. It delves into how his unrelenting work habits and the weight of his responsibilities made him prone to burnout. Musk's interactions with the media and his sometimes erratic public behavior are examined, particularly how these contributed to a sense of instability. Despite the emotional and mental challenges Musk faced, this chapter illustrates his resilience in overcoming them, and how he remained focused on his ultimate vision of transforming multiple industries. Chapter 45. In 2018, Tesla's Fremont factory became a symbol of the company's internal struggles. The factory's production hell, as Musk called it, became infamous for its chaotic work environment and delays in the production of the Model 3. This chapter dives into the operational difficulties Tesla faced, including challenges with automation, labor issues, and Musk's own hands-on management style. Musk's aggressive timeline and desire to scale quickly put immense pressure on Tesla's employees, leading to strained relationships and frustration on the factory floor. Despite the turmoil, Musk's persistence led to the eventual ramp-up in production. This chapter underscores Musk's willingness to face challenges head-on, even when it seemed like Tesla might collapse under the weight of its own ambitions. Chapter 46. In 2018, Musk received an open-loop warning from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, after his controversial tweets about Tesla's stock price. Musk's communication style, particularly his impulsive and often combative approach on social media, came under scrutiny. This chapter focuses on the fallout from his interactions with the SEC and the scrutiny Musk faced over his management of Tesla and SpaceX. The chapter highlights Musk's defiance of traditional corporate norms and his willingness to take risks with his public image. Despite the regulatory challenges, Musk continued to push forward with his vision for Tesla and SpaceX, highlighting his nonconformist approach to business and leadership. Chapter 47. Musk's controversial behavior during 2018 reached its peak after a series of public incidents that brought about significant consequences for his companies. This chapter examines the fallout from Musk's actions, including his interactions with the media, his decision to take Tesla private, and the subsequent SEC investigation, and the effects on both his personal and professional reputation. Musk's tendency to act impulsively and his confrontational nature alienated some investors, but it also strengthened the loyalty of his supporters. The chapter illustrates the intense pressure Musk was under, as well as his ability to endure public scrutiny while keeping his eyes on the long-term goals of his companies. Chapter 48. In 2018, Musk began a relationship with musician Grimes. This chapter explores their unique partnership, which captured public attention for both their contrasting personalities and shared ambitions. Grimes, known for her artistic and avant-garde style, became an important part of Musk's personal life, and their relationship, while unconventional, brought Musk a sense of balance amid the chaos of his businesses. This chapter also touches on how Grimes' creative influence aligned with Musk's visionary outlook, especially on topics like artificial intelligence and space exploration. Their relationship is explored as an example of Musk's need for intellectual and emotional connection, despite the intensity of his professional life. Chapter 49. Tesla's expansion into China was a key strategic move during this period, particularly the construction of the Gigafactory Shanghai. This chapter explores the challenges Tesla faced in entering the Chinese market, a country where the electric vehicle market was rapidly expanding but where foreign companies had to navigate complex regulatory and cultural hurdles. Musk's negotiation skills and determination to establish Tesla's presence in China were instrumental in Tesla's growth. This chapter also explores the broader significance of the Shanghai Gigafactory, which marked Tesla's ability to scale its operations internationally. It highlights how Musk's global ambitions for Tesla began to materialize, and how the success in China was a critical part of Tesla's future growth. Chapter 50. In 2018, Musk unveiled the Cybertruck, Tesla's bold and unconventional entry into the truck market. The vehicle's design, sharp, angular, and futuristic, generated a lot of attention, both positive and negative. This chapter covers the development and reception of the Cybertruck, which challenged traditional ideas of what a truck should look like. The chapter also delves into the significant risks Musk took by introducing a product that defied expectations and had little precedent. The Cybertruck's impact on the market was profound, as it forced automakers to reconsider the future of electric trucks. Despite its controversial debut, the Cybertruck became a symbol of Musk's ability to disrupt industries, even those that seemed resistant to change. Chapter 51. Starlink, SpaceX's ambitious satellite internet project, was launched to provide high-speed internet access to remote and underserved regions across the world. This chapter delves into the development and scaling of Starlink, focusing on the technical challenges involved in deploying thousands of satellites into low Earth orbit. Musk's vision for Starlink was to create a global communication network that could generate revenue for SpaceX and reduce the cost of future missions. The chapter explores how Starlink has become a critical part of SpaceX's long-term strategy, with Musk betting on the technology's ability to provide connectivity to underserved areas while generating significant revenue to fund future space exploration missions. Chapter 52. Starship, the next-generation spacecraft being developed by SpaceX, represents Musk's ultimate vision for space exploration. Intended to be a fully reusable spacecraft capable of carrying humans to the Moon, Mars, and beyond, Starship has been one of Musk's most ambitious projects. This chapter explores the development of Starship, from its early prototypes to the challenges of building a massive, reusable rocket system. The chapter discusses the technological innovations required to make Starship a reality, as well as the setbacks and tests that have pushed SpaceX to its limits. Musk's vision for Starship is a bold one, aiming to make space travel affordable and enable humanity to become a multiplanetary species. And there we have it, part 1 of the big story of Elon Musk. This is just the first part of a truly monumental story, and I've split it into 2 parts because there's so much to cover. Part 2 will dive into Tesla's rise, SpaceX's breakthroughs, and Musk's vision for the future. It's a journey you won't want to miss. If you're eager to hear part 2, make sure to comment below. Once I get 50 comments, I'll release the second and final part of this amazing story. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more from Audiobook 2M.